Konnichiwa, and welcome back to Pushbox Banter. I am Daniel.
And I'm Craig, and we're here to talk about F1 and all that implies. And today, we're talking about the Japanese Grand Prix.
That's right, Craig.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Tokyo Drift. Oh, no.
Wait.
No.
Fast and Furious. Oh, no.
Wrong
no,
thing,
not that,
thing,
not
wrong
that.
thing.
What are we talking about? Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms, yes. Speaking about Tokyo Drift, Lewis Hamilton was at the Daikoko PA.
Yes, he was.
With an F40, Japanese registered.
That was pretty smooth, man. I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Did a little photo shoot or two there.
That's right.
I thought he was rolling up with Kim Kardashian in the car, but it was not.
It was, I think it was someone else.
It was somebody else. I went back and watched some different reels of it. It was like, oh, no, somebody else.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Kim Kardashian wasn't there.
I would think,
she would have taken the spotlight away from the Ferrari F40, honestly. I feel like.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. That's a pretty freaking smooth car.
It is a...
I don't know.
Living museum, they say.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah, that was pretty awesome seeing that. And because that hit my Instagram feed, then I started getting other Instagram feeds with the Nissan. There's like somewhere back in the day. I don't remember how many days back, but it was Lewis Hamilton, the GTR, and they're doing like Tokyo Drift style stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then I also ran across, which this isn't totally F1 related, but Too Fast, Too Furious, Paul Walker's car from there. It was a Nissan Skyline.
Yeah.
It's been missing for 20 years, the original one, and it was in some guy's like house in somewhere in Europe.
Interesting.
And there's a car collecting club, and they purchased it over the weekend, so they were posting all this stuff about it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, random side note there. Not really F1 related, but
that's right.
Racing related, car related. All right, so
Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, Super Mario Brother.
That's right.
Yes. So it's interesting because Leclerc and I think Verstappen have commented that this new reg that the cars are somewhat like Super Mario Brothers at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
And evidently there's a movie that's coming out.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes. And two of the individuals that are starring in that movie were at the race this weekend. So
I want to say there's more than that.
At least, there were more than that. But yes, I think there were like 4 to 5. Yeah,
Taylor Anna Joy or something.
Yes.
Taylor Ann Joy or something. Jack Black.
Yep.
Chris
Pratt. And there's like Michael something.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not the best with the names all the time.
Right.
Some of the names I am. Jack Black, I got that one down solid. Chris Pratt, I'm pretty good with remembering that one too, for whatever reason.
Because he's always in the galaxy, you know.
Yes, he's always the guardian.
The galaxy.
The guard.
Exactly.
Galaxy.
Yes, of the galaxy. Okay.
I don't know if that one's going to make the cut when we edit this.
Right. No, it's
so,
fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
It is all right.
Yes.
Anyway.
So Super Mario Brother Jack Black got to wave the checkered flag at the end.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Good for him.
Indeed. He's not waving guitars now. He's waving flags.
Right.
There you go.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Lots of things.
Lots of things going into the weekend. So, I mean, Lewis Hamilton, like he got to practice and learn some samurai swordsmanship. It's not really called that, but he did get to learn a whole routine. They filmed it, and it's somewhat quasi like Kill Bill-esque.
Oh,
type.
interesting.
That's one of his favorite movies, evidently, and so he commented about that.
I think they're actually going to come out with the new Kill Bill.
Really?
That's what I heard. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Those are pretty. I enjoyed those movies. So, yeah. So,
hey, Craig, what do you do when you meet a swordsman?
I don't know. What do you do, Daniel?
You draw your sword.
No.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Well, so other weird things. Max Verstappen. There was some like video of him, and he's like in front of a sumo wrestler, and they're like doing like high fives and stuff, but not. It was like some little game to see which one could get the other person pushed off balance.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny to watch for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved on in life. So to the race.
Yeah, sure.
To the race we go. There were other things leading into this weekend. I mean, that we did here.
There was so much.
A lot of stuff, and we'll probably touch on some of these throughout the week or throughout this talk. But one of them being Jonathan Wheatley leaving Audi all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Speculation that he's going to Aston Martin. And then we also had Alonso.
And some stuff with Alonso,
having
yeah,
a child this week.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
So we've got that. And then, of course, it's Japan. And it's Suzuka, which is an iconic race, an iconic track. Used to be held in the spring, or not in the spring, in the fall, for way more of the championship races. A lot of them were decided there.
Yeah.
So, but now we've got it in cherry blossom season. So,
Even better.
I think so.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So going into this race, everybody's thinking Mercedes going to dominate again. Probably Leclerc. Maybe Hamilton coming in right after that. And people having questions about McLaren. How are they going to do? Because last race they didn't race.
That's
Previous race, Piastri didn't race.
Well,
So,
I'm going to say the takeaway of this weekend was that Oscar Piastri saw the lights. He started a race. I mean, it was a good weekend for him.
yeah.
All in all, like he started somewhat up front.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent quality, decent start to the race. Took the lead, and you can't get better. He's beating his teammate for sure. Better in that car than Norris.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my question regarding Piastri, Craig, for you is, does he just have the worst luck ever?
I guess it depends on how you look at it. I mean, he's had bad luck the first 2 weeks and not starting first two race weekends, and then this race weekend he's doing well. P3, he's doing well, and he gets in the race, and he does have some bad luck happen to him.
Lead on Russell initially,
right?
And we know that Russell isn't at this moment as good in that car as Antonelli, at least from what we can see in the last race and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, he was in front of him and was keeping that lead in a very smart way. And it's also Suzuka, so it's difficult to overtake, right?
Right.
So he kept the lead for long enough. And I believe that, I think he could have maybe maintained the lead, or it would have been very, very close to the very end of the race. It would have been an exciting race. But I think that the safety car took that from us.
Yeah, I think so. I think eventually, like, Antonelli would have passed him. And
Possibly, but Antonelli just ran with it. And it was just, it's a different class that Mercedes is in at this point.
It really is. It really is. However, like, Antonelli, when it's in clean air, it's way better than anybody.
Right.
By far.
Yeah.
However, like, for whatever reason, George Russell, like, he gets
struggling.
stuck.
Yeah, he gets
stuck behind some people, and he can't really get past them.
Right,
and he has trouble, and there's battles. He's complaining throughout and doing his thing. And whenever it gets down to the end, like, he's trying to pass Leclerc, he passes him, and then Leclerc overtakes him, and he just can't get past Leclerc, and that's how it ends up. Like, Leclerc beating him.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this race, it was an interesting race from the perspective of, like, is Antonelli going to hold on to the win? Because he gets the pole again. He starts in first. Russell, so they got a first row lockout, and then you've got Piastri and Leclerc behind them both. And right from the start, Leclerc, Piastri, they both take over the leads. And of course, that changes, that struggles back and forth. But it was interesting to see. It was interesting for me to see, like, Russell did not have command over that car like Antonelli.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Do you think that Antonelli is the threat now moving forward for Russell?
Yes.
Yes.
Right now, yeah.
How long do you think before they make that call?
I think it's going to be a little bit, because you've got, I mean, we're 3 races in. You've got a whole month off now.
That's true.
So you're going to have some other cars that are going to catch up. Russell has more experience, has more time, but it's the first time that an Italian driver has won back-to-back since the 50s. Like,
that's
yeah. Just doesn't happen very often.
He's getting that confidence.
He's getting the confidence. And then Russell, like, he's having some bad luck. How does that play out? I mean, we saw last year Norris had a lot of bad luck at the beginning of the year. Piastri gets ahead, kind of keeps that lead for a long time. Norris comes back. We'll kind of see how that plays out. I think it'll be a while before they determine who's going to be the number one.
Right.
I don't think they're going to wait as long as McLaren did last year, but at some point they'll determine.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Or they'll just let the races kind of do the determining for them.
that could be it too. And we saw last year that Antonelli was doing very, very well up until a point, summer break, and then he just fell off,
Yeah.
right? So it could be that he starts with momentum and then something happens and, his confidence loses track and he goes down. So who knows, right?
Right.
Who's to say?
Right.
So speaking about the safety car that we saw that in essence gave Antonelli his weekend back, right? You could say took it away from Piastri to some extent.
Right.
Was that Ollie Behrman crash predictable?
It's an excellent question, and a little bit, yes. Maybe not specifically to him.
I mean, to some
but
extent.
as far as like what they've been talking about that.
Everybody's been
talking about it, and Sainz actually was pretty vocal about it afterward.
Alonso had been saying there's going to be a huge shunt.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think, to some extent.
Yeah.
Minus the Mercedes, of course.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, FIA has been talking about that and possibly changing some of the rules on that, but it was a problem. You've got somebody that's coming in at an extreme speed, having to overtake, Colapinto, and Colapinto makes a little bit of a move, and it's on a tight area of the track, and there's just a little bit of maybe an overreaction, maybe not, but
it's just the difference in speed. Like it's hard to predict how someone's going to move and how quickly they're coming versus how you're going, right?
Right.
And when you just don't have the speed anymore because you're going so quickly and all of a sudden your speed drops.
Right.
You don't know what the other guy, if he's on the same strategy or not, right? Of
Yeah.
course. I mean, it's bound to happen, I thought.
Yeah, totally bound to happen, and it did happen.
Yeah.
And, you saw a really kind of a scary accident happen. I mean, they were like, 50G accident.
That's what they say.
That he
yeah.
ran into the wall. So Behrman gets out of the car and you see him like limping and falling a little bit.
That was a little scary.
You're like,
yeah.
okay, did he just break his ankle or did he just have like, is there just some stress on it or whatever? They said afterward, I think he was okay. But that is scary because it could have been way worse than that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's scary.
So I think predictable, yes.
That's awful. We'll see what the
bad.
we'll see what the FIA does for that. So, going back to the start of the weekend, we had Max Verstappen in a little bit of a controversy.
Yes, we did.
He kicked out in his press day. He kicked out one of the reporters before he started speaking and threatened as much.
Right.
Told him to get out twice. How do you feel about that? Do you think that it's right for these drivers to dictate who and which journalist is able to be at a presser?
I have a hard time with that. There's a little bit of, if a driver's doing that, I feel like there's somewhat of a they should be able to, but then at the same time, no. Because like in this case...
Why do you feel that they should be able to?
Well, I feel like they should be able to, depending upon what the issue is. So for this case, this specific journalist, back at the end of last year, he asked some questions to Max Verstappen about, I think at the very end of the year, hey, what if you hadn't have lost your temper when you ran into, I mean, he didn't phrase
Russell.
it this way, but yeah, whenever Max Verstappen ran into Russell and he asked him about that, like, what if he hadn't have done that because Max would have retained more points and he actually, I think, would have won
the championship.
And Max didn't want to talk about that. So I think
and
that's
he
a
said
fair
it
question.
with quote unquote a grin, supposedly.
I don't know,
and Max took it as he's laughing in my face. Anyway,
yeah.
continue.
So there's a little bit of like,
Sure,
scruffle there. I think that's silly. I don't think Max should hold a grudge like that to where he can't, where he won't talk if this guy's in the room. I think that's silly. I think it's petty. If there's more to it, then okay, maybe so. Like I've heard of other reporters at times where they've asked questions about individual sexuality to them.
Okay.
To me, a question like that's over the line.
There is a red line.
Right.
At which point the driver will say, hey, I'm not going to answer these. I'm just not going to answer questions.
Right.
I'll be here and just, I'll get through it, but I'm not
Right.
going to answer those questions.
Right. Because there are certain things I think as a journalist that you have a responsibility, and you have a responsibility to do your job for the company that's paying you for you to report on. So for Max to kick this guy out, like he's not enabling that person to do their job. And
Yeah, and
it's
to
over
some
something
extent,
that's petty.
yeah, it's a little
Like it's
petty.
over a misunderstanding. It's not over a situation where he's
Right.
putting somebody down.
And
It
even
just
if it is an uncomfortable question,
Mhm.
you know, Max is in the spotlight, and to censor, in essence,
Mhm.
a journalist, I think it sets an awful precedent to
Mhm.
anybody else, because it's like, okay, now you're establishing what you can't ask. And every other journalist now will not want to ask him a question with a grin, or with, something that's going to make
Yeah.
him uncomfortable, because then they'll kicked out or possibly get fired from their respective paper
Right.
or editorial or whatever. Right.
Right.
So I don't know. I think
don't like
it's, I didn't like that at all. I
Mm-mm.
thought that was kind of foolish, actually.
I thought so too. I thought it was foolish. And Max is one of my favorite drivers.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. When I read into it at first, I was like, oh, I got to defend Max. No, there's not really anything to defend there that I've found so far.
I also think, okay, maybe this is a separate subject here, right? But is it also a result of really poor performances now? And, aside from holding a grudge, which we know he can do,
Right.
Is it also the result of something like, not liking the sport he's in currently, and not liking his car, and underperforming?
Yeah, I think so. I think that he's looking at it and like he wants to win so bad, and he's not. And he also can see the writing on the wall. He's not going to win anytime soon in this car.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of work to do. I think he's even mentioned it that they're not really close like last year's car was on figuring some things out. They do have a lot of time. I mean, it's only 3 races in.
Sure.
But at the same time, like is he going to win this year? I mean, I think that's a legitimate question to ask, and I think the legitimate answer is probably not.
No, probably not.
I don't think he's going to win any races. Which
would you go as far to say that Red Bull is a midfield team now?
definitely a midfield team. In fact, I think they're fighting with Racing Bulls. Like that's who they're competing with.
Yeah.
That's how bad they are this year.
Yeah.
Now, will they turn it around? I hope so. But
I mean,
I hope I'm wrong.
You're not kidding. I mean,
Right.
Lindblad did overtake Max and knock him out of
Yeah.
Q2 basically.
Yeah, he knocked him out of Q2, and then in the race, like he gingerly gave up the position to Max. Like
Yeah.
he didn't, like
Again,
So, and I think Lawson ended up finishing behind Max on there. So they're right there with them.
Yeah.
And point wise, they're 2 points apart in the Constructors Championship. That's awful. So I think he's feeling that, and then I also think that he's looking on the side. And he was last weekend. He was able to be in the Nordschleife
Right.
race there, wins, then gets disqualified because they used too many tires. But like he's actually getting to race in a way that he likes to race. So
Right.
here he is, like one weekend, he's having fun, he's doing this. Even if he gets disqualified, he's out in front,
Yeah.
having all the positives and all
Right.
this stuff. And then he comes back to F1 and he can't succeed there because he doesn't have the equipment to allow him to succeed.
Right.
That's
Or
a
the
tough-
rules
I
to
think-
allow him to succeed.
Yeah,
right,
or the
right.
rules, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Do you smell the end of a Max Verstappen era, and possibly a retirement of Max in Formula One?
I think if he can't figure this out, that I mean, it
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me if we see something kind of like with Hamilton. How Hamilton, when the cars changed, he wasn't able to change with it, and we'll see if Max is able to change with this. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they've found their number 2 driver.
They found their number 2 driver in Max Verstappen.
Yes, and Max
Wow.
Verstappen. Yes,
That's controversial.
you've heard it here first.
Well, Joss and others, others have basically, and himself really have said that this type of driving is not really for him, right? So
Right.
he's insinuating it might happen, right? That the motivation is kind of gone, that the risk and the reward is not there. You put in this risk, but then someone with a boost button or with a little bit more watts, goes and overtakes you. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, this isn't racing, this is artificial. And to some extent for us, it's good, right?
Right.
Because we see a little bit more of that challenge, but not necessarily for Max, who likes to give it all and then see that result. So
Right.
he's got a point, but again, I mean,
Yeah.
does Formula One really need him that much? Some people would say yes.
I mean,
At this point, I think we can see that not necessarily.
no, you've got new people coming in.
We've got new people. Yeah.
I mean, I hope that that he is able to adjust. See how great he is.
Exactly. Jonathan Wheatley, you mentioned him a little earlier, and his departure from Audi was pretty sudden. According to Mattia Benato, he said something like, he couldn't commit to a long-term project with them, and they effectively released him right then and there. It doesn't seem like he has any commitment right now with Aston Martin, though. I think most of reports are saying that he will, but it doesn't seem like anything's on paper. Do you think that he will be going to Aston Martin at some point here in the near future?
I thought he was going to be going to Aston Martin. Whenever I first heard that, it just makes sense to me for whatever reason. And then Aston Martin it seems like they backstep on it. So maybe there's some contractual reasons why they haven't announced it or not. Lawrence Stroll has talked about Newey and their team principal role. It's different than most other teams. And I'm just like, man, their team seems like it's a little in a mess. It reminds me of some other sports teams that in different leagues that we've had where you have this big time owner that has a whole lot of money and he comes in and he shakes things up and he does things a little bit differently than everybody else. And sometimes that works really well and sometimes it doesn't. And in a lot of cases, it doesn't. And right now, it's not working. I mean, they're going backwards. The past few years, they've just gone backwards. So, maybe there's a reason why everybody else does what they're doing and is successful at it. And maybe you should take a look at it too.
It kind of gives me the vibe of Chelsea with Abramovich or the Dallas Cowboys,
Yes,
where you have
exactly.
an owner GM sort of thing going on where the owner has way too much to say and way too much money to be throwing around, but the results never actually come to fruition.
Nobody wants to tell the owner no.
Exactly.
So the owner it's not that they're doing a bad job and they may eventually get more competitive. I mean, he's brought in talent. He's brought in Alonso. He's brought in Adrian Newey.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
But
it would be good with Wheatley there.
We can see that money is really it's great. Good names, right? But poor results.
Right. And you do have a cost cap. So you can bring in some other people and everything, but you can only spend so much on the actual team and its performance. So, I think Wheatley would be a good addition to them. Will that happen? I don't know what we don't really know what all the personal issues were and why he left.
Right.
There's been talk that it was like a cultural difference or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's living in Switzerland versus England. And I'm like, I don't think that's really what it is. Maybe it is, but
it could be a couple things. I'm sure. Who knows?
I don't know what it is. Well, it'll come out over time. Maybe it'll be in Netflix next year.
Do you know who did have some personal reasons to not be at Japan for FP1?
Who's that?
Fernando Alonso.
Oh, yes.
And you did mention it a little earlier.
Yeah.
He is now Daddy Alonso.
Yes. The big daddy.
He's got a
little lion club.
Yes, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Craig. Yes, he's got a little Simba now. Apparently,
I do wonder if that's his child's
I don't know.
name.
I don't know. I don't know
either.
I don't know if it's a son or
I don't know
or a daughter.
Yeah, I mean they wouldn't release that information to me when I was at the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
I was not at the hospital.
Yeah, apparently he had a child with the Spanish journalist Melissa Jimenez, and went back to work right away. So I had a baby, and off to FP2.
There was a race.
There was a race, and he also he's a finisher, man. He also finished the race. He did finish the race.
Yes,
the first one for
Yeah.
Aston Martin all year, right?
It's pretty impressive.
It is impressive.
Lance Stroll didn't finish.
Exactly.
And
But we we should expect that. But anyway, yeah, he finished, granted behind like Perez and but anyway, they finished, which is a
That's
good
true.
thing. It's mileage,
Yeah.
and mileage is really what they need.
Yeah, they do need a lot of as much practice as they can get. Yeah, Cadillac actually.
I wonder how Taylor Swift felt when she heard that.
Probably happy. Probably there was a little smirk that came across her face.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it was somewhat similar to Toto's smirk at the beginning of the year.
Anyway, what were you saying?
So Cadillac.
Oh, Cadillac.
Yeah. So Cadillac, we've got Perez and Bottas.
Perez and Bottas, yeah.
And they actually qualified above Aston Martin.
They sure did. They sure did. They above both Alonso and Stroll.
Do you want to talk about Perez and his weekend?
So Perez had an interesting weekend. He he had I guess a malfunction on his virtual mirror. And so I don't know that I didn't even know that they had this, but I guess they have some sort of signal that tells them like, hey, you got somebody right next to you.
Okay.
And I guess that malfunctioned, and he actually, it was interesting because he was going into an apex, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Albon kind of dove in and they collided with Perez kind of up front, and Albon basically saying, hey, I don't think he saw me, which of course he didn't.
Right.
And yeah, he had a really interesting weekend, but did finish the race. They have more mileage. The car is looking a little bit better. I think whatever they did between China now, there was a little bit of an improvement. But yeah, that was pretty straightforward for them. He was kind of like nowhere to be seen.
Mm-hmm. He finished above.
He finished in 17th above Alonso, Bottas, Albon, Stroll, and Behrman, of course, because of his shunt. But yeah, it's good for them. It's only up for them, I think.
Yeah,
right
I think
now.
so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've talked a little bit about McLaren. We haven't talked much about Ferrari this weekend.
Okay.
And what do you think about Ferrari and their performance this weekend?
Ferrari and their performance. They going into the week or going into quali, I believe Hamilton was saying that he doesn't have confidence in the car just yet.
Okay.
And so they looked good in terms of getting off the line, and they looked fairly competitive, at least competitive enough to race with the McLarens.
Right.
But that's as far as I see it for them. They're not in a position, I think, to challenge Mercedes yet. Leclerc looks good. He looks better than Hamilton. Hamilton, though invigorated, I think is still lacking. And he said as much that he's lacking confidence in the car, thus not going quickly. Right. So that's my feel on them right now. What about you, Craig?
I mean, they're incredibly quick in the curves and corners. And,
that's true.
And so it's like if the race is close, if the cars are packed up, it seems like they have a good opportunity to pass. And if they get past, they have an opportunity to take it back.
Right.
So it makes for a little bit of excitement there. In qualifying, like Perez was on his very last lap. He was on a flyer and he messed up very near the end, I think in Spoon, and it cost him. Basically cost him being on the front row. I don't think he would have passed or beaten Antonelli for the pole, but possibly Russell. So that car's really, really close, but it doesn't have quite the same speed, straight line speed as Mercedes does, and possibly McLaren after this weekend.
Yeah,
I think McLaren's
they figured out
good.
whatever electrical issues they had for sure.
And I think we're gonna see McLaren continue to improve. They've done it the past few years.
For sure.
The year keeps going, their improvements, the changes that they bring, the modifications that they bring, they keep getting better and better throughout the year. We're gonna see that. Miami, they're gonna be rolling. It's gonna be interesting to see. With
it really
both
is.
of them. Now, will Ferrari be able to be up there? Because I don't know if they have the horsepower to make it, but maybe they do have some other upgrades up their sleeve. That car looks like it's in a good position. And Leclerc's driving really well.
He is.
Hamilton, even though he's not quite as good as Leclerc, but he's still driving really well too. I mean, they're right there with each other. So I think that this weekend we saw Mercedes, McLaren and Ferrari being legitimately the top three out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say Mercedes, long pause, McLaren, Ferrari.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
going into Miami,
Mhm.
because we're going to have a little bit of a break, what are your predictions for Miami?
For Miami, I think we're going to see Antonelli back on top of the podium.
Okay.
I think we're going to see, Norris and Piastri.
Norris and Piastri. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Why Norris?
Norris has done well there. That's like where I think that was where he won first a couple of years
Okay.
ago. He finally got
Okay.
his first win, I think, in
Okay.
Miami. And I don't know. He's improved. We haven't really seen much of him this year because he's had
Mhm.
some different electrical issues in his car. I think he's driving with a little bit more confidence, even though we haven't seen him as good
Right.
yet. But
Right.
like there were a couple of moves this week that he just seemed like he drove with confidence around. Like at the very
Okay.
start, he just went around
Sure.
the outside.
Sure.
I mean, just no big deal. Like he seems like he's got his a little bit more confidence out there.
Cool.
As much as I hate to say that.
Yeah. No. I hate to hear it. Just kidding, Craig. So for me in Miami, I anticipate to see Antonelli.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to go for the turkey. Russell, I hate to say it,
Yeah.
and Leclerc.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see.
And then you might have the McLarens underneath with
Mhm.
Hamilton somewhere in the mix.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if Russell wins out on all this. Like his car was a little off this weekend. He had some weird adjustments. Was it that, or was it him? Yeah, we'll find out.
And it doesn't help that his younger, borderline rookie-ish
Mhm.
teammate is over here winning
Right.
and giving him some heat there, some
he's-
competition.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be hungry for a win
For
this
sure.
next week. So,
For sure.
or not next week,
Next-
but the next
this
race,
next
rather
month.
next month. Yeah, so we have a whole month off.
we have some time.
So we'll see if they reschedule those two races for later in the year or at different locations. No word on that
Just
yet.
make them some sprint races and call it.
It could be, yeah. Make them
Just
back to
kidding.
back, back to back race days. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right,
So Daniel,
Craig.
once again, this brings us to the end of our podcast. So, guys, like, subscribe,
Yep.
follow, comment, do all the things that you would like to do. If you were making a podcast, you'd like to have likes, comments,
Exactly.
subscribe,
Yeah.
subscriptions.
Do those good things.
Yeah. We appreciate it. And with all things, live passionately, my friends.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.